A global non-profit Women in Tech has begun its activities in Kazakhstan and plans to launch new projects aimed at empowering women in the tech sector depending on the needs of the country, said CEO Ayumi Murayoki in an interview to New Time. She noted that since the organization just established its presence in Kazakhstan a month ago, a team currently consists of around 40 members. However, there are prospects for expanding their activities, which will also help achieve their mission to reach over 5 million women by 2030.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's a great pleasure to have you in our country. As far as I know, it's your first visit to Kazakhstan, and
it's my second visit to Kazakhstan.
Yes. Story. So, just what I wanted to ask first about the Women in Tech and its role in Kazakhstan. We see that your goal until 2030 is to reach and to empower 5 million people in tech. What's the contribution of our country to this number, and what's the number now, the current state?
Well, it's my second time in Kazakhstan. So the first time was 1 month ago when we launched the new Women in Tech Kazakhstan chapter with our director and team. So our director is Asem Bolatsan, and this is when I came for the first time. So we are building the community here, and we already started creating programs. So one of the first programs we are going to be doing is the leadership course, a leadership workshop, where we're having young women, and not so young as well, to learn how to become better leaders. Because what we want is not just for women to have access to the digital devices, to come into as technologists, but we want them to be leaders in the field. So this is going to be our very first workshop, and it's going to be like in 2 weeks' time, already starting the beginning of November.
That's an awesome news. And as far as I know, again, coming back to the question of global numbers or the women in tech in the world, last year I heard that the number was 300,000 people now empowered in tech. What's the state now, and how close you are, do you think, to reach your goal?
So we have about 300,000 members today, close to 400,000 now. We have impacted close to 400,000. I think by the end of the year, when we're going to have we have only quarterly reports, we should be arriving close to 500,000. So we still have a long way to go, 4.5 million, but we have put in place some strategies and some programs which are going to be starting the beginning of next year, so that we can really reach at least 1 million women more per year until 2030. So we're very confident. It's a lot of work, but we're confident we are going to reach it.
Yeah, I hope so. And there is also, you mentioned about the existence of women in tech in Kazakhstan. You mentioned that you will put your efforts into our Central Asian region in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. What exactly programs can we expect and projects can we expect that are going to be held here in Kazakhstan? Maybe some projects, educational on cybersecurity.
Yes, of course. So I think because we have done so many programs around the world. We've got programs from digital literacy to coding 101 to front-end developer, cybersecurity, blockchain, AI. So it depends on what the community wants. The thing is, we've got it all. It's all templated. It's all packaged. We've got the best experts as well. So if the community would like to implement something close to cybersecurity, we've done that in Georgia, and it was very successful. If you want to do something about AI, we already impacted 5,000 girls in Peru with AI courses. So we just have to pick and choose, and then we can implement it.
So how does it work? Who says about the needs of our Kazakh
community? So it's going to be obviously done with our team leader, with our chapter director. So she's in charge of getting feedback from the community, but also from the government and from other stakeholders with whom we want to work together, right? I think if you look at the data and what the data says and where the gap is and what the strongest need, where we can really add value, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. If it's going to be cybersecurity or AI, or maybe we can choose everything, right? We can
look at one term. So what's the focus now will be in Kazakhstan, Central Asia?
So the focus right now, I know it's going to be really into emerging technologies. I think it's something not only in Kazakhstan but entire region. It's something that is going to be very promising because it's going to be opening doors for new jobs new prospects. Yes.
I see. And Kazakhstan ranks their highest positions in global rankings in terms of digitalization of the processes. What can we do with this, do you think? What's the prospects this index open to our country?
So I think prospects are always good, right?
Yeah.
The thing is taking action afterwards and just closing deals and making sure that the women are as important and involved in all layers of the decision-making process. Because we have seen in many different areas, and it doesn't matter what field it is, whether it's technology or not, when women and they've got diverse teams in the decision-making process, this is what brings a more homogeneous and more inclusive environment. And we have seen that how inclusive environments, they benefit everyone because the businesses are more successful. And this is data proven. So if we see that there's a way to include women in all the decision-making process from the beginning to the end, I'm sure there's going to be a higher rate of success in all the projects that are being done.
What's the number of participants of the Kazakh community now being involved in Women in Tech? Are there any numbers?
I would have to ask Assem to be sure, but I know our team counts about 40 girls from the core team, right?
Yeah.
Through the larger community, I would have to see. But when we launched last month, there were hundreds of people in our event. I was very, very surprised and very happy to see so much energy around and expectation.
Thank you very much. I hope on the success of Women in Tech in Kazakhstan and to have more and more achievements here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.